What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How's it going? I'm back. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. I'm just happy because I got to spend time with my family on Thanksgiving, and I'm so thankful for that. Even though Black Friday wasn't able to shop, but I did some online shopping after that. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about something that happened. I found out from other cosplayers in the community, and I do tend to look. I'm a really big fan of some of the cosplayers. Um, After finding out what happened to one particular cosplayer I encountered on Twitter years ago, I found out that this cosplayer in question, and I encountered her before, she basically got upset with me for being skeptical about her. And right now, I'm just laughing my ass off because of what happened. Because she caused a lot of drama. It turns out she's a very abusive bully. She uses her followers to abuse everybody, everyone she doesn't like. I mean, she basically has them go one ups and everything, you know, it's kind and retweets or whatever on. It's so funny. It was like Twitter drama with the cosplay community. It turns out this, and I'm not going to name her name because she doesn't deserve to be named because I encountered her once. And I'll tell you what happened. She basically, a year ago when I was working at Ship to Block 20, a Twitter fan told me about what happened to this cosplayer at a convention, and he tagged me into her, and she told me what happened, and then and I was kind of skeptical because, for one, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, and and the guy was kind of vague on what happened because I wasn't aware what happened because I was working on an article, doing looking up games and shit, and it's like the guy was asking me, "Hey, did you hear what happened to this person? She got kicked out at a convention because of her outfit being too revealing. Isn't it obvious? Yeah, that happens at conventions, and they always do. And yet, it turns out this security was very cruel to her, calling, belittling her, talking down to her, and harming her and abusing her. And I was just like kind of skeptical about this because most conventions do tend to kick out people for this. If you're a noob to cosplaying, some conventions have a lot of strict rules, a strict dress code, and I mean a strict dress code. And this convention happened and in all places, Atlanta, Georgia. If you don't know what Atlanta, Georgia is, if you know what the Bible Belt is, they're like a Christian, state. And the funny story was she got kicked out of the convention because her outfit was too revealing. And God knows, in Georgia, they don't take kindly to that. And it's obvious. I knew this because I lived in that state before. And of course, convention had to abide by the rules of the hotel that's hosting them, and they got complaints, and thus the complaints they had to kick her out. And of course, she got upset with me revealing the rules and everything because I looked at the rules, showed her the rules. She got upset, insulted me because I used to do a lot of volunteer work for conventions in Texas, and and I did security for them as well. And it's like she got upset with me because she got hurt. I didn't know what happened. She was basically crying in her video and everything, claiming that she did this, and it was kind of vague because she couldn't describe the person in question who harmed her, who basically belittled her, talk down to her, saying victim blaming and all this other stuff that she claimed, because it was her story was kind of vague, because it was hard for me to understand her story, because she didn't report it to the police. She didn't describe the person in question that harmed her at the convention, the security guard in question that or the con staff that told her to get out, because a lot of conventions tend to do this, and I know this for a fact because I hope I don't host, but I do know some convention people that told me this stuff, and they tell me the rules and everything, and I had to learn quickly on how to do it. But it was interesting, learning from them and learning how to take care of a lot of things. But at the same time, it motivated me to understand a lot of things. And her story was kind of vague, and it kind of made me, uncomfortable. And she kind of, got upset and basically called me slow, and then bam, blocked me on Twitter, and her friends just upvoted. All her little fans just upvoted, and were like, "Heh heh heh, yeah, you got blocked, bitch. What are you gonna do? Nothing." And I was just laughing because really, I knew. To me, it was kind of her story was kind of vague and hard to tell what happened because I wasn't there. And she should know that I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, and I don't even know why she got upset with me because like all conventions, yeah, they will kick you out for if you don't follow the rules, and they tend to have a strict dress code for this. And heck, I know better. And the sad part is that she basically claimed this. Didn't report this to the police, didn't bother to describe the person in question that harmed her, and expects me to, write an article about what happened to her. Because it's hard for me to understand whether or not it was true or not. And she basically, got upset with me and called me slow. Okay. Fine. Done. Moved on. And then years later, I find out she was a very abusive person. Bullying other cosplayers, belittling them. Even I found out, from a friend of mine a while back, she was in LA by herself, alone, walking alone, and I found out she was talking to my friend, and I was just like surprised. He's a really nice guy. You'll love him when you meet him. He's a really nice guy. I'm not gonna name his name, and he told me what happened to her. She was on her own, and I know that she's a feminist, and I know this for a fact, and I'm not gonna reveal the whole story about her, but it turns out, she burned a lot of bridges. A lot of the sponsors that she worked with, tried to avoid her a lot, and especially other cosplayers because of her attitude problem. And I found this out from other sources that I was talking to, even through Twitter and through email. I found out that she had a lot of problems and issues. And I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm just saying, I found out a lot of things. Like, she's a very manipulative bitch. And I found out, from one of the posts that the next day from a person, and I'm not going to name that person's name, showed me an image of her, talking shit, saying, all you cosplayers have no skills in making your own freaking outfits. And it turns out she got she bought some of her own costumes. The three costumes in question, they showed the comparison. One costume from some other anime, some video game, and it turns out that those costumes were bought and paid for. She didn't make them. She didn't do. She didn't even. She just basically probably modified them a little bit to make herself cool, make herself look cool, and say that she made them herself. She didn't. And of course, hearing about her attitude problem, blocking people left and right, belittling the cosplay community, talking down to people, yeah. She walked alone in a convention, all alone by herself, even when she went down in LA, no one wanted to talk to her except for one person who was a very nice person. And I'm glad, he told me about what happened to you. And I'm not gonna name names, but he told me what happened to you. And I realized, I get it. Your ego got in the way of things, and once your ego gets a little bigger and bigger, even though you were an upstart that started out, small, you should have started out small instead of big, and you tried to, belittle other cosplayers. Heck, there's more cosplayers that are experienced than you that can do better than that, and you called them, and you basically disrespected them. Heck, half of those cosplayers that you disrespected right there, some of them either bought it just to, go down there just to have fun. And for you, I can understand this is all business. You want to make money. I understand that. You want to make a living off of selling your pictures and all this other stuff. And it's like you let your ego get higher and higher, and you wanted to start talking down to cosplayers like you're like an elitist bitch. Good luck to that. And look what happened. No one wanted to talk to you in LA. No one wanted, except for one person who was very nice enough to talk to you. Happens to be my friend. Told me what happened. And I realized you have a really big ego, and that's what caused you to. And Karma is a real bitch in this whole story. I can say is that I felt bad for her. And personally, Karma's a bitch. Yeah. When you talk down to people, belittle them, look what's going to happen. No one's going to talk to you. No one wants to be your friend. Heck, and after what happened in LA, sure, you're a very attractive person. You're a very beautiful person. You worked your ass off to get pretty and all this other shit. But in the end, your attitude was the problem. And that's what caused you to go through that downward spiral and all those haters and all this other shit. I'm just going to say this right now. It doesn't matter to me what happens to you. I'm just smiling, laughing at all the shit that happened and went down because, well, yeah, you kind of belittled me too. And everyone in the cosplay community is pretty upset with you for what you are, a bully. That's what you are. You became the one thing that no one likes, especially in the feminist community, a bully. And everyone's avoiding you because you are a very mean person, mean-spirited person. But anyways, guys, that's all I got to say because Karma's a bitch, isn't it? Because I'm laughing at what happened to her. And she's already, a lot of people are just, even though, I hope she learned her lesson. Even though she probably learned something because, You can make a big lie, but the internet always knows. And I'm just laughing right now because she's getting a lot of negative attention right now, and I'm not going to name her name because and I realized, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm just smiling in the background, hearing about all their war torn. Heck, I was like talking to a cosplayer who I followed on Twitter. And I told her, yeah, this bitch blocked me on Twitter because I was kind of skeptical about what happened to her at MomoCon, and she hearted that one. I was just like, yeah, few war torn stories between two people that experienced a horrible thing about this bitch. And you know what? And I heard that a lot of sad things, especially there's certain sponsors do not want to work with her. Even some cosplayers as well. Some, not all, do not want to work with her because she, oh God, is a horrible person. And her followers, oh man, her army of followers, they are the worst. I'm not kidding. Because from what I've seen, they've been trying to use sock puppet accounts and everything to attack other cosplayers, and I'm not kidding. This has been happening, and I'm surprised by this. But anyways, guys, I gotta go because it's kind of sad, but at the same time, put a smile on my face because it turns out she's a poser, and I'm kind of just glad, because Karma, because she really pissed off a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people who wanted to have fun, but she became such a negative Nancy to the cosplay community, literally Hitler to the cosplay community, and just really fucking pissed off some people. Yeah, there's a lot of haters, but it's easier. Oh yeah, it's easier for people to hate you than to like you. But it's actually it's much harder for people to like you than to hate. It's easier for people to hate you. But anyways, guys, it's kind of funny how people are. I'm just laughing, and anyways, I gotta go. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry that I took so long. Bye bye.